You didn't smile because you were okay. You smiled because saying anything cost more than you were willing to pay. At first, this looks like politeness, social awareness, emotional intelligence. You learned when silence was safer than honesty. That explanation settles quickly. It frames the smile as choice, as skill, as something you picked up and now carry easily. It almost sounds like maturity. But the smile didn't stay optional. It started arriving before you decided. Your face moved ahead of your thoughts. Agreement appeared where there wasn't any. The moment passed, and whatever you didn't say went with it. The disruption isn't that you stayed quiet. It's that the quiet began doing the talking for you. At one angle, this behavior looks like restraint. You don't escalate. You don't burden others. You don't create tension. That interpretation flatters the silence. It makes it look intentional, even considerate. Shift the angle. The same silence becomes avoidance. Not of conflict, but of exposure. You learned that expression invited consequences. That clarity led to misunderstanding. That explaining yourself took more energy than letting the moment slide. Shift again. It starts to look automatic. The smile shows up not to smooth things over, but to end the interaction quickly. To close the loop before anything deeper is required. The false explanation hides here. You assume you stopped speaking because nothing needed to be said. Because it wasn't worth it. Because you moved on. That story feels accurate because it protects you from revisiting the moment. What it misses is the accumulation. Here's the mechanism, without naming it. When response is met with friction often enough, the system learns compression. Thoughts shorten. Reactions get edited mid-formation. Expression reroutes into something neutral. Something acceptable. Something that won't echo back later. The smile becomes a gate. It lets you pass through situations without leaving traces. This isn't about being agreeable. Agreeableness has intention. This is about speed. About resolving moments before they expand. You don't wait to see what you think. You close the interaction before thinking becomes necessary. There is a moment here where nothing is explained. The face softens. The jaw stays loose. The body remains still. The moment ends without disturbance. Over time, something subtle shifts. You stop expecting to be asked what you think. You stop preparing answers. Inner dialogue thins out. Not because there's nothing inside, but because it rarely finds daylight. When the opening idea returns, that you learn to smile instead of speaking, it doesn't sound like a habit anymore. It sounds like a translation system. One that converts complexity into neutrality. Presence into manageability. Near the final layer, the name becomes clearer. Not dramatic. Just precise. This is emotional self-silencing. A learned reduction of expression. A way of staying socially intact by staying internally muted. You didn't stop talking because you had nothing to say. You stopped because saying it changed things. Now the smile isn't kindness. It's containment.